Happy New Year and welcome to 2026. This is a good time for us to begin to love ourselves. So join me as we talk about a few more ways that we can learn to love ourselves here on A Different Choice.
Ooh, you gotta love yourself. Yeah, you gotta love yourself. Hey, you gotta love yourself. Just letting you know, you got to love yourself.
Hello YouTube family, and welcome to A Different Choice, where we talk about transforming our lives and living better lives. I'm glad you could join me. My name is James, and I'll be your host. I hope you are still accepting that person in the mirror because they deserve it. And I'll also continue on with positive affirmations. In fact, one positive affirmation is that you're back here this week to continue to tackle the issues. So while you're still doing that, we're going to add a few more things that we can do to begin to love ourselves. And after a while, we won't be in this process of beginning to love ourselves. We'll be continuing to love ourselves. But first, as I said in the last video, we need to identify some other reasons that may have caused you to not like or even love yourself. Because I believe identification is the key, because you can't fix what you don't know. So let's get into it. I don't want to keep you here forever. First up, what can make people not love themselves? Negative self-talk. Listen, it's bad enough when others put you down, but when you put yourself down, that's a bad day. But then again, why does this happen? That goes back to the negative criticism I spoke about in the last video. Sometimes we hear it so much that we begin criticizing ourselves. It's that quiet voice that whispers you're not good enough, or you always messed up. This is a big one. Or everybody else is better than you. To be honest, that was one of my problems. I always thought other people were better than I was. And that's no way to live. When you put yourself down and other people put you down, then there's no way to live. Listen, don't do that. Just don't do that. Just imagine, with all the people that we have in the world, that there was just one standard. But see, it's not like that. Because if it was like that, this world would be a boring place. But the world has many different people, many different ethnicities, different worldviews, different looks and likes. And you, that person right there, you're what someone else is looking for. You're the person that someone needs as a friend, because you're that one that will understand who they are. You're the kind of worker that certain jobs are seeking. And we need to believe that. And this leads us into the second reason that we will go into today about why people that don't love themselves. And that is they compare themselves to other people. These two kind of go hand in hand. For me, see, I didn't have negative criticism when I was coming up. When I was coming up, everything was good. They said I could be whatever I want to be. The world is in my hand. But when I started comparing myself to others, that's when the negative self-criticism came in. See, comparison is kind of subtle. It sneaks in through social media, through conversations, through the highlight reels of other people's lives. Comparison says, look at them. Why aren't you like that? Look at what they have. Why don't you have it? Look at how far they are and where you are. Why are you still falling behind? But here's the truth. Comparison blinds people to their own gifts. It makes them forget their own journey. And it convinces them that who they are is not enough. And when we compare ourselves to others, that really kills self-love. Why? Because it shifts focus from growth to insecurity. It can make you chase someone else's calling instead of embracing your own. It creates resentment toward others and also toward yourself. Think about it this way. You're not called to be a copy of somebody. You're called to be an original. In other words, be the best you that you can be. So those are the two reasons why some people don't love themselves. The next two reasons, I should say. And I'll have a video in the future where we list all of these reasons. But for now, let's get to two more things we can do to show love for ourselves. And I think that's important. One of the most powerful ways to show love for yourself is really simple. And that's just to celebrate the small wins you have in life. Because most people only celebrate the big moments, the promotion, the degree, the breakthrough, maybe making it to the finish line, things like that. But the truth is, the big victories are built on small steps. And if you never celebrate the small steps, you'll never feel like you're moving forward. So, what does celebrating small wins look like, and why does it matter? Let me tell you why it matters. It trains your brain to recognize progress instead of failure. It builds confidence one moment at a time. And I talked about doing this program one step at a time. It's the same thing. And it teaches you that you are worthy of encouragement, especially from yourself. And some of the examples of small wins are when you drank water instead of stress snacking. Or maybe you set a boundary that you stood by. You always said yes, but this time you stood by yourself and you said no. Or even the simple idea that you accomplished something and didn't quit. And just as with these steps, these moments add up. And then you will get used to doing it, celebrating yourself, and therefore loving yourself. The second thing that I want you to do this week is practice being present with yourself. What? Yes, practice being present with yourself. See, most people live in two places. The past, where there's regret, or the future, where there's worry. But I believe that love can only grow in the present. Being present with yourself means slowing down long enough to notice what's happening inside of you. It means listening to your emotions and giving yourself the same attention you give everybody else. So what does being present with yourself look like? Here you go. Sitting quietly for a few minutes without distractions. Checking in with your feelings, your own feelings instead. Breathing deeply and letting your body settle. Allowing yourself to feel without judging the feeling. Just being kind to yourself. Listen to your own feelings and then take care of those feelings. It's just like meditation, but you're concentrating on you and your emotions. Be kind to yourself and love yourself, and you'll be surprised how much more you can love others. So to wrap up this session and this video, the two reasons we gave, or the two additional reasons we gave, that people don't love themselves are self-criticism and comparing themselves to others. But the two ideas that we can do to love ourselves, and this is in addition to what we said in the last video. Don't say, okay, the last video is over, I'm done with that. You're adding this to it. Giving yourself positive affirmations and looking in that mirror is to celebrate the small wins and practice being present with yourself. All right, there you have it. It's those two things that we want to start doing. Those are the other two things that we recognize. And coming up next week, we'll have another video and two more reasons why people don't love themselves and two more ideas on how we can turn that around. But until then, be good to yourself, forgive yourself, and most importantly, love yourself. You deserve it. See y'all next week right here on A Different Choice.
Ooh, you gotta love yourself.